I'm still wearing my Game of Thrones shirt because I'm in mourning. Recently received this package of vitamins as part of my monthly subscribe and save program out of Amazon.com, and it comes in this heavily thermally lined box. Although by the time it reached me, because Texas is already starting to get inhumanely hot, it was only slightly cooler inside than the ambient temperature. But I like these gummy bear vitamins. They're really good. It makes taking my vitamins like a throwback to childhood, which is a good incentive to take it. Now, what kept these things cold is this little bag here. This is like the those blue plastic containers that you can get in the store. As moisture safe refrigerant pack. It says it is reusable. That's really useful because I'm likely to want to keep something cool, especially since the summer months are upon us. I am mostly writing the blog, coming up with subjects to write about, watching TV. Like every now and then I dip into Seinfeld. The complete Seinfeld is on Hulu. One of the topics that I'm going to write about is going to be Dwight Morrow as ambassador to Mexico. Morrow was on the board of J.P. Morgan Chase Bank in the 1920s. And he was in the latter few years of the 20s, he was in Mexico as the U.S. ambassador to Mexico, which was just still recovering from a nasty bit of a revolution. This is the revolution in which they oppressed the church, and that was the historical background for Graham Greene's novel, The Power and the Glory, an excellent book, one of the major masterpieces of the first half of the 20th century. Along with Morrow, there was this bohemian guy, an artist and an artisan, who liked to, well, he was trained in architecture, but he also liked to make jewelry and all sorts of artwork. And he was retained as an architect by Morrow to redo his house in Mexico City. His name was Spratling, and Morrow retained Spratling as an architect, but Morrow at dinner one night came up with the idea that Spratling could go down and to energize the little town of Tasco, which was outside Mexico City. Tasco at that time was a mining town where essentially foreign companies dug the silver out of the ground, and Mexico never saw it. There's a presumption that silver in Mexico, the silver jewelry, the artisanship, is directly descended from the Aztecs and so on, and it's simply not true. It was Morrow's idea to instigate Spratling to go to Tasco and to start using this silver for Mexico's gains instead of the foreign companies' gains. Instead of a fantastic job on it, he put Tasco on the map. He first set up his own little artisan shop and hired 3 guys who knew nothing about working in silver, taught them how to do it, and started producing jewelry. And he trained other people too. He actually set people up to be in competition with him, because his goal wasn't really to just make this one little shop and monopolize the artisanship for himself. His idea was to revolutionarily reform Tasco. And that's what he did. He succeeded in doing that. Tasco got on the map as a silver jewelry place. It was conveniently located along the highway from Mexico City to Acapulco. Spratling was the kind of guy that knew lots of people, and so he was able to make contact at Hollywood and get these actors. And Hollywood being the home of American royalty, soon everybody else that went to Mexico followed suit and came in and bought jewelry too. Now, at the time, at about the same time that Morrow was in Mexico, his daughter, Anne, was attending Smith College. And she happened to come home for Christmas, well, home, her parents' house in Mexico City at the time that Charles Lindbergh was visiting the house, because Morrow had instigated a goodwill tour by Charles Lindbergh to various Latin American capitals, including Mexico City. So Lindbergh was actually flying the spirit of St. Louis into Mexico City and other Latin American capitals as a kind of American outreach program. You know, hey, we know you're down here and starving to death because we're claiming everything that you dig out of the ground or manufacture before you get a chance to capitalize on it. But we just want you to know that we love you, and here's our golden flyboy Charles Lindbergh himself. So Lindbergh and Morrow met at Christmas time, and of course it was apparently basically love at first sight. Within 2 years they were married. Had strong roots in Europe through his travels, and he actually received a medal of some kind from Hitler, and he was pro-fascist. Once America got in the war, all reasonable people, no matter what their sentiments were, shut up about any fascist leanings they had, and this includes Lindbergh, Henry Ford, among others. But about 30 years after Lindbergh died, and a couple of years after Anne Morrow Lindbergh died, their children made a horrifying discovery that Lindbergh was a bigamist of sorts. He had not another family, but 3 other families with a woman and children in 3 different parts of Europe.